No, not really. I signed a 6-picture contract, and it was, pitched as this big thing, but no one really knew if it was going to work or whether I was going to be fired or they were going to do another one or we were going to do Avengers and so on and so forth. But, about the time Avengers 1 came out, and that press tour in particular, I remember thinking, oh, wow, this is something that could go on for a long, long time.
Yeah, it's kind of a rare thing, I think, for actors, unless you're on a really popular TV show, to be able to come back and, keep kind of hacking away at this huge, kind of overwhelming person character. These characters are so meaningful for people because they've grown up with them. I just, in the beginning, was nervous that I didn't know if my interpretation of the character would be accepted by fans. So, to be able to kind of chip away at that and also evolve the character as my life has changed over the past decade has been really a great pleasure of mine. Truly. Yeah.
Well, when I worked on Civil War, that was really the first time I was like, oh, wow, Ant-Man's really in this. We had shot the first Ant-Man film. It hadn't come out yet. And while that was an incredible experience, it felt like we were parallel to everything that was going on over here. And then when I showed up at the airport in Civil War and looked around and realized I was in scenes with these guys, that was when I thought, wow, I'm part of this whole universe.
It was on the tarmac.
It was on the tarmac. On the tarmac.
I mean, you have obviously a huge amount of responsibility to, especially on the first one, to deliver, to those expectations and what people want to see and know from the comic books, and you want to tick all those boxes. So certainly on the first one, more so than ever, I felt that weight and responsibility. By the time, say for Ragnarok, that was where we sort of thought, now we can make it our own. Like people know I'm playing the character and they've bought into the idea and they're on board. And so then it became just about sort of putting your own creative stamp on it, and you could do different things and it could be unexpected and different to what they may have seen in the comics. But they were, on the ride and with us and supportive, so.
I don't know. It's hard to have a perspective on what the fans love about the character. I hope they see the character for what she is, which is a very complex, kind of fully realized woman who, makes her own active choices and also, was grappling with her past, and she comes from a place of, she's had a lot of trauma, and she's she's working through that as best she can, and she's a very multifaceted person, and I think her vulnerability is her strength, and that's what I like about her. Hopefully the fans see that too.
Well, I think that it's with humor sometimes you can be relatable, and Ant-Man is a guy, I think we all kind of went into it thinking this is a guy this is not his world. He wasn't born with any kind of, superpower, and it was kind of an entry point in a way that an audience might relate. So I think my default tends to be humor anyway, to convey anything dramatic or anything. I just kind of go to jokes, and
well, you do it well.
Well, no, thank you, but
also really inappropriately too, because sometimes something's really, really sad, and there you are just just cackling away.
Nobody else is, but I am.
Yeah.
And finally
sharing the movie with people. It's been 3 years. It's like working for the CIA. You got to keep secrets every day. You have to think about what you're saying to people. So you're constantly censoring information. It's physically, it's mentally draining. It's So we're excited for people to see the film. only Mark Ruffalo gets several different endings.
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
No, it is hard to censor yourself. It's hard to edit yourself about what you say. Because look, we spend our lives every day for the past several years. This is what we do. It's hard not to talk about what you do. It's hard for the actors to not talk about what they do. But we try to make it easier for them because by limiting what they know. Because these movies are large ensemble movies, their characters sometimes appear only in a portion of the movie. So we generally just give each actor the portion of the movie that they're appearing in, so they don't have to worry about keeping the secrets that their character's not involved in.
You have to have a very defined idea. These movies are so complex. Thousands of people need to know what you're thinking. So we're very, very specific in the script about what we're looking for. And but we're always open to interpretation on the day. An actor can bring an idea or inspiration that changes the way that you feel about the really specific plan that you've laid out. And that's the nice thing about having a plan. You're comfortable enough that when opportunity presents itself, you can shift and move a little bit to accommodate. Casting's
casting's so critical. I mean, look at this. It's like we have an embarrassment of riches, with these actors. I think for all the wonderful things these movies can do, certainly like bringing together a cast like this is one of the most special. And for directors, it's the greatest gift when you're working with very talented actors because they become key collaborators in the process. We care a lot. We discuss with each of them their characters very thoroughly as we're developing the story and thinking about how we're moving them through the film. And they give us Joe and I love the fact that we work as a team. We love the process of collaboration. It's what we do with one another. It's elemental. So we love bringing others into the process of collaboration, especially the actors.
These are our director's cuts. Everything that we've released is exactly what we wanted to release. So we've been, incredibly well supported and given a great deal of freedom by Marvel and Disney. And Disney let us kill half the characters at the end of one of the most expensive movies they'd ever made. So we're very comfortable with the process over the last 7 years. But as far as a book, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to remember enough in detail.
I don't think so. I hope somebody writes a book, but I don't know that it will be us.
We love it. It's our favorite thing to do is be with the fans and feel them reacting, especially when you're making movies that you're trying to surprise them. You want to hear how that affects them. You learn from that when you do it.
Did y'all bring your bag lunch? Hi, John. Hi, Robert. I've been thinking about this recently. There's always two tracks, at least in my mind. One is The Sky is Falling, and the other is The Sky's the Limit. And as we had those many discussions in the high desert and shooting the film, I'm reminded now that I was talking a lot of smack, saying, wait till you see where this goes. But in the moment, I was just hoping day to day we were making good scenes and getting good stuff in the can and, usual gobbledygook. I just wanted to not drop the ball.
Was it a surprise early on that Iron Man amassed an army of devoted fans? And what do those fans mean to you today, Robert?
Again, I've been just feeling like I'm kind of an oddball Manny, who I've been offered the opportunity to usher in this larger, as you were saying, family and stuff. And I look around and we are close and growing closer by the moment. So it's just great to, hi Bree. God bless you. What a fun springtime you're having. It's just nice. To me, it's just the coolest relay race in the history of entertainment, for my money. So.
Well, big is relative, but it was, we hired a great director to do the first film in the MCU. And then we hired a great actor. And we had fun making that first movie, as you all recall, and it was sort of the success of it. The bar for success was pretty low. It felt high at the time, but it was not that high. It was comparative to other Marvel films that had been out in that general area, which is what we wanted to compete with. But as we were making the movie, and as we were looking at dailies, and as we were looking at effects tests coming in, we realized that this was really going to be special, and even perhaps more special than we thought. And then that opening weekend, and the response to the trailer, frankly, with you coming out at Hall H at Comic-Con for the first time, showing that trailer, there started to be a much bigger sort of wind behind our back, combined with Mr. Sam Jackson's cameo, that we secretly did on that Saturday at Playa, and then leaked the next day. And the response to that. And then people picked up that that meant this interconnected universe, which everybody knew from the books, but had never been done in the movies.